Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots. All right, everybody, what's going on? This is Con.
Hey.
This is WTF Nation Radio, and this is another installment from the cannabis analysts, Jason and Charlie.
What's going on, man? This is the green.
This is the Green Room.
Hey, how's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Dream to live.
Oh
We
yeah?
got Con joining us again this weekend. We also got his technical expertise helping us out.
Yep.
As
and
always,
it's much appreciated.
It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure.
Jinx.
You guys have a really, really good show, and I want to see you continue that. So here we are.
Well, we thank you. I'd like to say Jinx, Jason.
Oh, man. Con, you good. So,
Yep. But no,
yeah.
legally.
it's shit. On top of getting all the technical support, we got a fucking awesome guest on with us. Built-in fucking awesome guest. It's fucking awesome.
A built-in guest.
Built-in guest, yeah, man.
Hey, you guys signed up for that Secret Santa thing, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I went. I was able to go shopping this weekend for my person, or actually it's a couple. It's a Mr. and Mrs. Let me see if I remember.
That's
their name.
cool.
Munson. Richard.
That's
and,
cool shit,
Richard
dude.
and Kimberly Munson from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Dang, that's
in
right
my
around. Yeah, it's near Jason.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Oh yeah, maybe they'll want to come on over to the Green Room headquarters and tell us about their gift that they get. I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah, how was your week?
Mine was. It was a busy week. It was a full week, and we did things. It was just really busy at work. It was kind of out of control. Everyone's really looking forward to the holiday. So I wouldn't say tempers are short, but everyone's just ready to take a break.
Everyone's sick of each other already.
Everybody's on that short time mode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh man, dude, that's nuts, dude. This whole week has been crazy for me. I haven't got shit done like I wanted to. On Tuesday, the Mrs. Jason went for a checkup, and I had to go see a neurosurgeon for some shit with my neck. And while she was at the appointment, our baby Jason, to be, did not move one damn bit during that ultrasound. And the doctor told her to go to the hospital. So here I am in Raleigh, and I've got to go all the way down to fucking Fayetteville. And I'm being told, my wife's calling me saying, "Hey, Jason, Doc said I've got to go to the hospital. Everything's okay. Just come on down here, take your time, be careful." And meanwhile, I've got my fucking truck pegged out, saying, "Okay, honey, I'm being very careful. I'll be there in a little while." And turns out it was a false fucking alarm. As soon as I got there, Baby Jason started fucking doing everything. And I said, "Oh, you were just waiting for Daddy. You little shit. You could have done this earlier so we didn't have to go to the hospital."
Right.
But at some point during the monitoring, I some of the equipment got moved, I guess, or something, and it altered the way it was. It altered what they were recording for little Jason's heartbeat, and we didn't like that. They didn't like that, so they kept her overnight. So there's 2 days out of this week where we didn't do shit except hospital and recuperating from hospital.
But Mama and the baby are fine, though, right?
Dude, Mama and baby are perfect, man. It was just a scare. It was a false fucking alarm, but I
Good
mean,
shit. I'm glad
yeah,
she's
like,
good, man.
it's
She's a high. You were saying that she was a high risk pregnancy earlier on in her the pregnancy, correct? That you were telling me that, right?
yeah, and that's so every week we go twice. We go twice every week for
Right.
ultrasound. So I mean, we get to see the baby a lot.
That's
So
cool. That's cool as shit, dude.
So that's yeah. I mean, I really like that aspect. But
I can't imagine how scared you guys were.
oh, it was stressful.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad everything's good,
It was
man.
stressful.
I'm super glad everything's good.
Yeah, thank God, man. Dude. But other than that, man, like we went finished up some Christmas shopping last night. There's a few more things that we're going to end up buying just because that's what we do. But we went up and finished all of our Christmas shopping last night. I had to buy Shrek the rest of his Christmas gifts. I've got another little part of that to get him.
What'd you get
Sorry,
him?
guys. Shrek is a loving nickname for one of our buddies. I'm not telling you on that air, man.
It's not like he's
live
listening.
on the air.
It's not like he's listening.
He might not be listening now, but I mean, our podcast, you can hit it up on YouTube, all the other places where we're broadcasted. I mean, he's got the chance. All right. I don't want to fuck this up. I think I did pretty good with
I think
this.
it's a roll tide, something roll tide, or something fishing related.
No, dude, none of that. I can tell you that. I didn't buy him anything fishing related, and I damn sure wasn't going to touch anything that had shit to do with Bama. So, I mean,
Speaking of that,
no,
Yeah, I spent a good portion of the day wrapping my daughter's Christmas presents. I got to stick those in the mail this week.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
Amazon has that feature, right? Where you click on you click a little checkbox and they'll wrap your gift for you.
No, I like to do it.
That's made Christmas so much easier over here in the Michaels household.
Right?
I mean, Amazon, dude, like I don't even have to associate with people anymore. Walmart, like you just fucking go online, pick what you want, check out, and then drive up there the next day. They'll load it in your truck and you just drive off. It's taken the social aspect of shopping completely out of the picture, and I love it.
yeah. But see, man, I've actually been all right. So I've had a mission this year, and that's everybody that I encounter, I interact with. That's at whatever point. Yesterday morning, I was at the drive-thru at McDonald's, and there was a guy sweeping the fucking parking lot in the snow. I mean, that sort of interaction.
I bet he has great stories to tell.
Yeah, right. But all I did was, I mean, I'm making an admission that people I interact with, I'm wishing them a Merry Christmas. I don't care what their beliefs are, it's the holiday is Christmas, and I'm wishing them a Merry Christmas.
You're going to trigger some gender binary. You're going to trigger someone.
You know, dude, I've been afraid of that. Like, I've legitimately thought about that, and whenever I say it, it just comes out. Like, and I'm trying to just spread a little bit of holiday cheer, and not even just holiday cheer, just being a good person. You know what I mean?
Are you saying I'm a bad person? That is a
Yes.
bold accusation.
Yes, that's exactly what I just said. I'm so glad that you're listening.
Damn it. No, man, that's good. To each their own. I just don't feel like dealing with people, especially during the holidays. I mean, call me Scrooge if you like, but I'm good without seeing the 400-pound woman walking around in Spanx and a fucking leopard print tube top. I'm good without that.
That's pretty hot, man.
No, not for me. But to each their own. Not for me, though. Yeah, no, I'm going to become a hermit, dude, because I can have everything. Like, pretty soon, Walmart's going to start delivering. Safeway, which is, like, right up the road for me, if they start delivering, I'm never leaving the house.
Well, see, this is a big step for me because I usually hate people, all right? And I don't want to interact with people. But it's been weighing on it. It's been weighing on my heart, man. I just want to affect a change, not just by the people, the demographic that we've got that listen to our show, I want to be able to affect a change in my community more so. So
Yeah.
I'm just going out and being the type of person that I would like more people to be like, and that's just common courtesies.
Yeah, I get that.
The door for a stranger. If I'm in a line of traffic and there's somebody that come up to a stop sign, and there's 15 cars behind me, I'm gonna let that.
I'll get an inch away from the bumper, the car in front of me. That's the person I am. But no, I lied. I will be leaving the house because I mean, unfortunately, the marijuana dispensaries don't deliver yet. But so I will have to leave the house, at least once a week, just so I can get my fill or my refills.
Right. You gotta re-up.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's because I'm a asshole.
But I mean, and I don't know. I mean, it probably has to do with me being in a more rural area than you are, where I don't interact. Like whenever I interact with people, I go out every fucking day and only interact with maybe 5 people. So I mean, I'm only saying it 5 times a day, whereas you'd probably your mouth.
I've said fuck you 5 times. I've said fuck you 5 times within an hour. So that's the same amount of interaction that you've had all day. No, that's good though that you're putting forth that effort. But as often as society is fucking let me down, not me necessarily, but where you just see those things where fucking you just completely lose faith that humanity doesn't exist anymore,
right?
Or that it's becoming the minority's position.
Yeah.
Yeah, but every time I start losing faith in humanity, it just gets turned back around, and I see something that's really cool or really nice or
Yeah, no, I get that. I do.
Right. I mean, all right. So I mean, here's just another example. All right. So I mean, fuck being in traffic because there are still times where I will edge somebody out to where fuck you, I'm not letting you in, kind of shit.
I'll rear end the car in front of you before I let someone in.
I mean, I'm telling you that there are times when that happened last night. Yesterday, I was hungry. I was hungry as fuck. It was cold. It was rainy, snowy, bullshit. And this car came flying through. I mean, this car cut through parking lots to bypass the stoplight. And I was like,
"Oh, what a dick!"
I was like, "Nah, bitch, you go sit
I'm
there,
that dude."
You are going to get in line behind me, if nothing else, bitch. You ain't getting in right now.
Tell him.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you ain't getting in.
I mean, I kind of hope old dude's listening right now. Dude, if you're listening, give us a call. We're online. 415-889-8367. The lines are open. Give us a call if you want to give a shout out or
tell us what your holiday mood meter is at right now. Call in and let us know. Or I'm paying attention on Mixer. You can put it in the chat.
Oh yeah. You got that number, 415-889-8367. You can be live on the air with Jason, Charlie, and Mr. Kaz.
Oh, that's fancy.
But I kind of wanted to put a pin in earlier where you were talking about humanity and just all that nasty shit. Now, all of us heard about that shit that happened last year, where
we got a caller.
Hey,
caller. WTF Nation
All
Radio, you're live on the air. Hello.
What's good?
Stage fright. Stage fright.
Now's when you say words. Okay, well, call back.
And fail. Oh, just the other day, we had a verdict that came out. Daniel Shaver was an Arizona resident.
WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air.
Hey, Jason, Charlie, Cost, what's going on, guys?
What's going on, Doc?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. This is Doc from the chat. I've got a question for you guys, and see if we can get some input on this bullshit.
Okay.
Where Hawaii started it. if you had a medicinal marijuana card, that they would take away your Second Amendment rights. 2 years ago, there was a piece of legislation in the U.S. House called Protecting Veterans' Second Amendment Rights, and that was one of those things where if you go to the VA and the VA says you're nuts, the state can't step in and take away your gun rights.
Right.
And that piece of legislation never made it all the way to the president's desk. And if I'm not mistaken, this other shit, that they still see that you're addicted to something, in the eyes of the federal government. This has been upheld by U.S. District Court, if I'm correct. And it's going to have to make its way up to SCOTUS, which now that, we've got another Supreme Court justice that's Republican, I wish that Jeff Sessions would step down so that Trey Gowdy could take over his place. He is a diehard conservative from South Carolina. And
Gowdy's a good dude. When Gowdy gets on talking about his about the scheduling and everything, I mean, Gowdy's a pretty big advocate. He doesn't even, not even an advocate of medical cannabis, just an advocate of making sure that the right process has been followed. He wants to make sure that if we're going to have something scheduled saying that it is that dangerous, that it is more dangerous than meth or heroin or cocaine, that if we're saying that, we're going to have evidence to back that up. Otherwise, we need to remove the scheduling. He had a huge debate on the Senate floor about this, and I fell in love with the man's policies right then and there. I don't see Jeff Sessions being the type of guy that's going to say, yeah, okay, I don't want this power anymore, though.
Yeah,
President Trump had mentioned having Trey Gowdy as his attorney general back when he was doing, the email investigation, and he was the chairman of the Benghazi committee.
Right.
And I seen him last week. Last week, now he's in the House Oversight Committee, and last week he was talking about the rescheduling of cannabis. And
right.
He's a diehard conservative, and like you were saying, he doesn't necessarily have to be an advocate of cannabis. He's a diehard advocate of limited government.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm from Massachusetts, so, I'm not, like down in the South, it seems like, conservatives and things like that are more, prominent than up in the North. But dude, Gowdy, for me, it doesn't get more straightforward and more honest than that, The dude is, I don't know. You can tell he's being honest, and you can tell he's concerned for anyone who's trying to overreach and affect things outside of their power.
Well, see, that's the thing. That he actually has the true meaning of democracy in mind. Whenever he gets up on his podium, he goes up there and he speaks for the people that he represents. I applaud that man.
Yeah, but going back to your question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
His former life. I mean, he was a federal prosecutor.
Yeah,
and he'll say that he gives that he speaks that he was a federal prosecutor, and he talks about the lives that have been impacted just because of scheduling of cannabis. And I go back. There's a lot of stuff out there back to the Second Amendment rights. I can't imagine, surrendering my handgun permit or my firearms. I am lucky as a suck dick because I have epilepsy, but I'm able
same
to
here,
maintain
man.
my driver's license. I maintain my driver's license because I go to the VA neurologist, and the federal government doesn't pick up the phone and call the state and say, "Hey, pull this guy's driver's license for 6 months until he's seizure free."
Yeah.
So I've been really fortunate to keep my driver's license because the federal government doesn't talk to the state. Now, when it comes to firearms, we've already tried to take care of the Second Amendment as far as them labeling us, with a personality disorder, and all of a sudden we're crazy in the eyes of the government. This shit with medical cannabis, and if you're in a state, sponsored program, or you're in a state where it's legal, taking away an individual's Second Amendment rights is a pretty big step. And if a district court's already upheld that, then we've got some shit going on. Hopefully, Gorsuch and the GOP can take care of this shit on the Supreme Court level, because it looks like that's where it's headed.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Like I after you had mentioned it, I went and looked it up a little bit, and I actually have the letter from the chief of police that they sent out, and what it was is they sent it out to 30 registered medical marijuana patients so far in Hawaii. And this is the letter verbatim. Your medical marijuana use disqualifies you from ownership of firearms and ammunition. If you currently own or have any firearms, you have 30 days upon receipt of this letter to voluntarily surrender your firearms permit and ammunition to the Honolulu Police Department, or otherwise transfer ownership. A medical doctor's clearance letter is required for any future firearms applications or return of the firearms from HPD evidence. So it says that 30 patients have gotten it so far. So, I mean, this doesn't look like, it's a mass thing. Hawaii, at least. I mean, I know I've heard other states, but this sounds like, maybe these are people that have disorders that are reported by their practitioner to the government, and they're telling them, hey, you got to surrender. You guys have to surrender your all your stuff until a doctor can prove that, until a doctor can clear you, saying that you don't have this disorder or this thing. But like you said, there was that shit going around where they were trying to label us all as, freaking warmongering zombies, and just to try to make it easier to peel away, our Second Amendment rights. And I do feel that as a veteran, population, that a lot of veterans use medical marijuana, and if this shit goes to that point where they have to surrender their guns, I think it's going to be one of those, you're going to have to pry out of my cold dead hands.
What I think has to do to get the different branches of government actually talking with one another.
Here's the thing.
I've got veterans that I've helped out.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that protected veteran Second Amendment rights, it's a different story if you're in the VA and you're service connected for depression disorder or post-traumatic stress disorder or whatever. Okay, that stays in-house at the VA. What freaked a lot of people out is if you're drawing Social Security disability benefits for a personality disorder, that's when they, Social Security tells the FBI and the ATF, hey, these guys right here, they're the ones that's fucking nuts. Because, up until now, we've been protected underneath that blanket of the VA. But now you've got, the DOD not telling the FBI that you've got crazy motherfuckers take away their gun rights.
Yeah.
Like we were saying just a minute ago, we were painted with this broad brush, take away their gun rights. And now you've got this shit with medicinal marijuana. It's crazy, but this piece of legislation at the House, one of the best things I did when I first came home was got a handgun permit.
Yeah.
And I carried ever since. And now my state offers a lifetime permit.
Nice.
That's good for life. And hopefully, Tennessee. And hopefully there's already a bill that makes its way through the House. It's improving the instant criminal background system, and at the same time granting national reciprocity for handgun permit holders, just like your driver's license.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, that's pretty awesome.
Because with Sessions, like you said, it's going to take a lot to get that guy going.
Hey, WTF Nation Radio, you're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Just to reiterate, in New York, if you have a handgun permit with a background check, in New York, you can also get a lifetime hunting license, fishing license, and everything put right on your driver's license. It's $125.
Well, that's the way it's in Tennessee. If you're 100% service connected, you get the lifetime hunting and fishing license. They just started issuing them this year, the lifetime handgun permits. And now something that Tennessee did that I think is kind of fucked up. Okay, I was a 19-kilo tanker. My personal weapon was an M9 Beretta pistol.
Right.
Now Tennessee says that anyone that has that's been in the military, they don't have to take the range portion of the qualification to get your permit. So all they have to do is go through the classroom portions, learn the legalities and responsibilities of carrying a firearm. But there are people.
Well, here's my concern.
I'm not breaking the balls in the Marine Corps, but there are 0311s that's never touched a pistol.
Yeah.
The only thing that they've ever fired is an M16 or an M4, and all of a sudden my state's saying that they're responsible enough to carry a handgun.
Yeah.
You know, there are benefits out there at the state level that a lot of us, we just have to educate ourselves on, whether it be a free license plate, you know, a free hunting and fishing license and shit. You know, there's state-funded programs there that benefit us, and then there's shit like this that if we participate in a state, you know, approved medicinal marijuana program, then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Well, what you were asking, back to your question, how do we get the governments, you know, talking? I kind of think what's happening in Hawaii is probably a result of that, where you've got the local governments that are, you know, paying attention to the licenses that are being given out to the medical marijuana users, and they're looking at conditions under which they're getting those licenses. And if those conditions are qualifying or disqualifying factors for weapon ownership, then they're doing what they need to, and that's sending out and saying, hey, look, guys, you got to turn in your weapon because this is your disqualifying reason. But
has anybody else ever heard of a case? Has anybody ever heard of a case that someone lost their Second Amendment rights because they were, you know, they were involuntarily hospitalized because of a heroin overdose? Has anyone ever lost their Second Amendment rights?
They're trying to do that in New York.
You said they're trying to do that in New York?
Central
Right,
New
well,
York.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I mean, those are the people. I mean, those people deserve. I mean, if they've got a mental disease, a mental disorder that's putting them at risk of abusing those firearms, then I mean, we got to be. Let's be honest. I mean, let's mitigate the issue before it's an issue.
No, not that. Not that. I'm talking about, you know, the thing that I push my U.S. senators and my U.S. congressmen about is how that you can participate in a state-approved program, but in the eyes of the federal government and the eyes of the VA, you have a substance abuse disorder, whether it be to marijuana or whether it be fucking benzodiazepine. What I'm asking is, has there ever been a case that goes before a court that anybody's ever heard of a guy overdosing on heroin, going to the hospital, getting Suboxone therapy for 8 weeks, getting out of the hospital, and all of a sudden someone's knocking on his door saying, hey, give me your firearms because you're a heroin addict, you're a narcotics addict, whatever the case is.
You got drug-seeking behavior.
There hasn't been a case like that in New York, but if you've been overdosing heroin, in Syracuse, New York, the Syracuse cops have the authority to automatically get a warrant and go through your place. So they probably already know the firearms and everything.
Damn.
Yeah, once the police department's confiscated your weapons too, it's really fucking difficult to get them back.
Yeah, I mean, Hawaii, it said, like I was just reading, in Hawaii it said that a medical doctor's clearance letter is required for any future applications or return of your firearms from HPD's evidence.
But right now,
yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more behind this because there's
it's
more
really vague. There's only 30 people, so it's really vague. It can't be like a blanket or the first wave that fucking small, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
but there has been discussion.
Right. What'd you say?
Christmas meters that fuck everybody.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Same.
You told us to call in to let you know the Christmas meter. Mine's that fuck everybody.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's
if you're not my wife and not my kid, get out of my face.
Fuck them all.
Yeah, I hear you.
You all have a good night. I'll be listening.
all right,
All right, man.
All right, man.
Thanks for calling.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys.
Thanks for the conversation, guys. Thanks for sharing your knowledge.
Hey, thanks.
Hell yeah, Doc. As always, man.
We should listen to what's her called? The ones that sing The Seasons Upon Us. Let's be a fucking grouch tonight and listen to that song that's going out in the break.
Fuck yeah, man.
That time of year. You guys have a good Sunday night.
Thanks, Doc.
All right, Doc. As always, man. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Right now, I mean, you got the Surgeon General of the United States is now I don't know that his opinion has changed, but he has expressed a desire to have marijuana tested.
Marijuana.
You just made a new word. I'm digging it.
He wants to test for the the medical benefits of cannabis. Granted, I mean, he's the Surgeon General. It's a ceremonial position. Of all things, he doesn't make policy. He doesn't write policy, but it's interesting to have the Surgeon General express an interest.
Well, yeah, the Surgeon General. I mean, with him saying that, the way he said that he welcomes the research into cannabis, like that's fucking really fucking stand up.
That's refreshing.
Yeah, it really
refreshing.
Now, Jeff Sessions, he's made it really clear how he feels about marijuana, but he at least says that it's not as dangerous as heroin. So now let's think about that. While the article in CannabisNews.com coming out of Newsweek earlier today said, while Attorney Jeff Sessions may have been persuaded that marijuana is not as dangerous as heroin's, those harboring hopes for federal concession legislation shouldn't bank on his support. Speaking in a congressional hearing on Tuesday, Sessions stated the Obama-era guidelines on cannabis remain intact, meaning the drug is illegal on a federal level, even though a number of states have voted to legalize it for recreational use. He's saying, quote, "Our policy is the same, really. Fundamentally, it's the Holder-Lynch policy, which is federal law, remains in effect, and a state can legalize marijuana for its law enforcement purposes, but it still remains illegal with regards to federal purposes." Forbes reported Sessions saying. He also says, quote, "I realize this may be an unfashionable belief in a time of growing intolerance of drug use, but too many lives are at stake to worry about being fashionable," he said. Quote, "I reject the idea that America will be a better place if marijuana is sold in every corner store," which is fucking ridiculous. It's never proposed on every fucking corner store. But anyway, I digress. And I'm astonished to hear people suggest that we can solve a heroin crisis by legalizing marijuana, so people can trade one life-wrecking dependency for another that's only slightly less awful. Our nation used to say clearly, once again, that using drugs will destroy your life. Now, we've got the top fucking cop, right, saying right now that it is less dangerous. It is not as dangerous as heroin. Yet heroin is a Schedule what? 2.
Yep.
That's
Weed
right.
is a Schedule what?
Well, what? 1.
Yeah.
All right. But hey, all right. Now you went
This
back
is
to
crazy.
saying that Cos was making up a word. Now, when he said marijuana, the first thing I thought was Adam Sandler. Hanukkah.
I did too, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I did too. I just couldn't think of the name, and it's so obvious. It's Hanukkah. I gotta stop smoking before the show and then smoking during the show. I can't. I'm slow. I can't. Like Hanukkah. Adam Sandler's Hanukkah. I should have known that. That song was like it's like it was on the soundtrack of my life.
Right. But I mean, just looking at this, just hearing Sessions say this, I mean, this is an admission from the federal government, the top of the authority on all of this shit. Like, this motherfucker, if he needs the DEA to do something, to do it, he's going to say, "Hey, y'all, come here, sit down. I'm talking about you. All right,
I just
listen, y'all. Marijuana is not as dangerous as heroin. I'm telling y'all. It may still be bad. The vote is out on it, all right? It may still be bad, but we need to do some research. It's not as dangerous as heroin, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he needs to do.
Yeah. They'll never need to worry about, having to carry, a quick revive sublingual for, someone walking down the street smoking a joint.
Well, dude, talking about that. So, you brought up this article in the LA Times. They came out, and the article that I'm just going to hint to it, and we'll discuss the whole thing a little bit later because it's pretty good. But when they started, when they decided how many permits that they released for recreational dispensaries and related businesses, they set aside concessions for people that were previously arrested for simple possession or small sales amounts. Nickel and dime dealers that were busted for spent 15 years in jail. Like they have
gotta love mandatory minimums.
But see, now it's going to work. I mean, now it may actually work out for them. If they decide that they want to open up one of those businesses, their permits, they have funds set aside to help them with the financial side of it.
Yeah.
And their permits get a priority over the business people they're going to be applying. Man, that's big fucking news.
That is.
There are going to be limited permits released in LA County.
Yeah.
All right. And these cats are going to be able to swoop right in and grab it on up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
from underneath the suits. I think that's really good, but we have to see if this is going to last, because once those suits start making donations and start making contributions and shit to these companies, to some politicians, palms will be greased and permits will be given away.
Yeah, I mean, they'll still get the permits. The big guys still don't get the permits, but the fact that they've got these set aside so that the guy that's been doing this the guy that's been doing it for 15 years on the corner and has a small charge from 30 years ago, he's going to be able to say, okay, I want to do this legit and be able to go legit. Like, isn't that what we want? Like, we want to stop crime in these areas. So how do you fucking stop crime? Stop it being a fucking dumb shit crime.
Yeah.
Let these people fucking make a legit business out of a fucking flower.
When I say that in my criminology class, I'm considered anti-cop. I'm just saying. You gotta love how our colleges are nowadays.
Well, David Coco Rico Cedeno in the Facebook live chat just says New York will find a way to tax it. I mean, yeah. California is what taxes are. Colorado is around
38.
Oh, it's
no,
38.
38. Recreational is 38. For me, medical, it's 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah, recreational is taxed higher than medical, but I mean, of course, I hope that they do tax it. I hope that they tax the fuck out of it because they're selling it. They're selling it at reasonable prices. So even if they are taxing it, say you buy an ounce for $80 and you do have to spend $15 in tax. Shut the fuck up. You just got a $95 ounce.
I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime with how fucking reefer madness our nation was.
You get what I mean? I hope that they do tax it and they tax the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And all of these states end up getting surpluses. And that's what and what do you do with a surplus? You put it back into the people. How many people are going to be happy whenever they see money going into their children's schools, into their roads being paved, into police officers, teachers, EMS, first responders getting reasonable wages for the dangers that they fucking face?
Doc, the guy who was just on chat. He brings up a good point, and I actually did a little bit of research for this because I had to write a paper for one of my classes. He said in Mixer Chat that they tax the shit out of tobacco. It's sad to say that tobacco is taxed at a much less rate than marijuana is. Legit medicine is taxed more than something that has proven to kill people.
But baby steps. Baby steps. I'm okay with that. Whenever. They tax the hell out of alcohol for the longest time. They still tax the shit out of it, but the alcohol taxes have changed. Since after prohibition,
palms were greased. But it's just sad to me. It's sad to me that something like tobacco is taxed at a lesser rate than something that has proven to be the opposite of tobacco and more.
Right.
It's more beneficial for your health, but it just makes you think, It's crazy. It's just insane to me that that could be something that the American people would allow.
Yeah, it's coming around though. It's coming around.
There's the pessimist or the optimist for the show. For some reason, I've adopted the role of pessimist this evening,
which is really fucking strange. Because here I am.
It's a strain, bro.
I'm looking at your real file, your real profile.
Yeah.
And Mr. Brightside, and here you are in a negative Nelly.
I know. It's got to be the strain, dude.
You bring me down, man. You bring me down.
Yeah. San Fernando Valley. It's fucking California. Dude, I'm so fucking bummed right now because it's California. The San Fernando Valley OG is what I got right now.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
That sounds like it would be good.
I
just had some very berry haze.
It makes me a pissy little bitch.
It does. It really does.
I'm going to remedy that during the break. I'm going to smoke some Grape God, and all will be right.
I was going to say, what strain are you smoking now? PMS?
Yeah, no, it's San Fernando Valley. Might as well be. It's that SFVOG. So beat my stand for vagina.
I need you to hit some Weapon X. That's what I need you to hit.
Oh,
you need to hit some Weapon
X.
X.
Hit Weapon X, dude. No one needs that. No one wants to see that.
Well, I mean, the only one of us that's going to see it is me. So
no one wants to hear that either.
Oh, well, actually, what they'll hear is you probably drooling.
Yeah, probably. And then
Weapon X the X came from the Roman numeral 10 because it originally started with 10 strains. Now it's just a big shake bucket with like 50 strains in there.
This thing will get you high, and then fucking 1 minute you'll be up, the next minute you'll be down. It's pretty great though. But look at all that keep, seeing how you can see it.
Yeah, I can see all of it. Fuck you.
That's like an inch thick in the bottom, dude.
I know. I see it.
Someone's making cash. You see that? You saw that, right?
I did.
Yeah, someone's making cash.
I have like an 1/18 of an inch dusting of heath at the bottom of my grinder right now.
Yeah, but I have some
But I tell you what, every Sunday during our break, I load up a bowl and I scrape that keef out, and that's just my weekly keef amount. You know, I get enough keef for a good bowl or two, and I save up for the next week. I mean,
for those of you who are just
noobs,
for casual users of medical marijuana or marijuana, the keef is the dust that comes off the plant.
It's quite literally the pollen of the plant. It's all of the trichomes. So your trichomes are your crystal structures. When you look at the flower and you see all those little small white hairs that are sticking off of everything in there, those are your trichomes, and that along with the pollen it
makes
shakes off. Whenever you're grinding it up in your grinder, it shakes off. And if you have a filter in your grinder, I've got a 3-piece grinder, and when you take the bottom part off underneath the filter, all that keef is collected under there. And you can smoke with it, you can decarb it, and you can cook with it. Or
you can make hash.
Or you can.
I'm gonna make hash. But
if you want to get creative, you can make Tibetan resin balls, where you just roll it in your finger.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I might do that with some of it.
I've got enough to do that. I've got enough to do that, and I might go ahead and get with some of my trim and go through there. I don't know, man. But I gotta get that.
You. I mean, whenever you use marijuana every day, medical marijuana, I use it. Doc, whenever he was on a minute ago, he said he was epileptic. I am as well. The army with the anti-malaria meds gave me seizures. So I smoke every day. Jason smokes because his back is fucked, is the only fucking way I can look at saying that. So whenever you smoke every day, you have to figure out all different ways, because smoking just doesn't get it done anymore. So you cook. I introduced Jason to Canna Tea, and I see him drink that every time.
I coined the name.
Yeah, but yeah, how often do you use tea now?
Dude, I mean, I make it as often as I think about it. Really. I mean, now, fuck you. I don't have enough flour to make it.
I've got 2 different things of butter I like cooking with. Whenever it's just me, I'll fucking put a big scoop of the butter on the mashed potatoes and just fucking sit back and enjoy the ride.
Well, see, I got to. I use on Leafly, and we've posted the link for this this recipe before. But Leafly had the canned tea recipe. Look at that poet. That shit rhymed. Canned tea recipe.
Dude, I'm proud of you. You didn't even try. That came off casual as fuck.
Right? But we it uses coconut oil, and that coconut oil, deep carbon and cooking the flour up, activating it, that shit worked perfectly, and that tea came out amazing.
That's awesome.
So guys, there are different ways to medicate, and it's not even that smoking just doesn't work. It's not that at all. It's just you get to a point where you need to change up. Honestly, I've got to change up how I smoke. So, like I'll smoke a bowl, and after I get done smoking that bowl, or I smoke that bowl for a week or 2 weeks, for some reason it just I gotta swap it up. So I'll start rolling joints and I'll smoke joints. And I'll go right back. Some people take tolerance breaks. I really just think it's how you medicate.
What's a tolerance break?
Exactly, right?
I should probably take it. It gets expensive.
We should actually talk about it because some people don't realize. All right, so whenever you use cannabis on an extended amount of time, your tolerance does build up to it, just as anything else. It's not as apparent as your tolerance will build up to, say,
alcohol or pills.
Alcohol or Percocet. You go from smoking a gram a day to a gram and a half a day after smoking for 2 years. All right, you're not using that much.
I just realized I smoke a whole lot more than a gram a day. Well, thanks to marijuana, Americans know the metric system.
Yeah, right?
Right?
Exactly.
A gram. But that's not a lot.
It's really not. It's $1. If you pick up $1, that's how much a gram weighs. All right? That is about a nug, depending on the strain. I had one strain that had a fucking 7-gram nug.
Yeah, I showed you that strain of Grape God, didn't I? Or the nug from Grape God in chat.
You did? Did you have a 7-gram one?
No, I think there's like a 4 or 5. I don't weigh them anymore. There's no point. I know about how much I can eyeball it by now.
Well, see, I knew that it was a lot of weight. I picked it up out
dense nugs.
I picked it up, and you saw it. I knew that a fucking nug, about half the size of my foot, was going to weigh a good bit. And I put it on my scale, and it's 7 grams on the dot. Boom. Fuck. Now, for those of you that don't know, 7 grams is a quarter.
Yeah, it's a quarter. That's
quarter of an ounce.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Damn it, I did not get to the mute button in time, and everyone heard me burp. Excuse me.
It's all good.
But no, yeah, it's you get some of them that whenever I open, like you can see this little jar right here. Whenever I open one of those and it's one nug with fucking and the jar is fucking listed at 4.5 fucking grams, it's gonna be a good day because you break that bitch down and you got quite a bit of smoking time. Dense ass nug. But that one you put up was pretty impressive. Looked like a small baby's arm.
All right, I gotta find the picture of that. I'm gonna find a picture of that and put it up on the page, because I think everybody would appreciate that.
But yeah, no, it's you really do have to change it up because it just gets so monotonous. Even you've seen all the different methods I have to smoke. I mean, I got my dab rig, the e-nail. I've got 2 other dab rigs that are in a box somewhere. I've got a 2-foot bong that I smoke out of primarily. Then I have the double barrel pipe, the owl. The owl. You remember that one right here at the camera?
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, you got to change it up, man, because it just gets monotonous. And smoking flower all the time, it doesn't matter how you smoke. If you run it through a bong, water filtered, I mean, it gets harsh after a while. So you got to change it up.
But don't be a puss.
Well, I got that fucking Vaporizer Pro Mask. I don't see you trying to at me with that one.
Dude, if I don't have one.
When you come up here, you're gonna
You don't think
rock
I will?
it for a while. No, you're gonna rock it for a while. You need a spot though, because I passed out with it on.
I don't think I need a spotter.
I think
I'll be all right. Jeff got some pretty fucking iron lungs. I mean, I cough a lot, but my lungs can take it.
Yeah, but for those who don't know about the Vaporizer Pro Mask, it's just when I got out of the Army, I paid for a Pro Mask. When I got to my house and household goods came, I unpacked the box and I had my Pro Mask. So I decided I was going to make some really cool shit with it. So I went out and bought a Volcano vaporizer, and I took the pipe and fixed the guts a little bit to make it so where you can inhale, you don't have to fucking bite down on the straw and fucking hook it into a canteen to fucking get it to open. So I just stripped it a little bit, fucking hooked the hose up. You sit around with that thing on, you're just pulling in fucking weed. Just pulling in weed. I had a party for the Super Bowl, and I passed out with it on I was rocking it for a good 8-9 minutes, and I passed out with it on.
Yeah, but see, I want to need it to be hooked up. I want to need it to be hooked up to the bong at least once.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll figure something out.
At least once. I need to take a bong rip through a Pro Mask.
I think that'd be fun. Water filtration.
Hell yeah. And just to see the Pro Mask fill up with smoke. I think that would look pretty legit.
Yeah, you get that from the vaporizer too. It's just not as much smoke.
Yeah, but I mean, I want the eye holes.
Light it out, and then maybe
white.
You know what we should do then? We should do that whenever you're here, and then I'll take a picture, and you can put that up as your profile picture.
Hell yeah.
Whited out fucking Pro Mask. Just smoke.
I think that's actually pretty fucking epic.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that when you get here.
Gosh, you want to come to Colorado and join us?
No thanks, man. I'll come and visit, but
said he needs to update his DD93 and SGLI first. No, but
I get I have one of those jobs that requires you have to pass a urinalysis a lot. I probably get.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, man. I'll just work.
You would melt the cup.
Yeah, I get piss tested probably 2-3 times a year.
You can use mine.
That's not that often. We did it more in the Army.
Yeah, we always.
Dude,
motherfuckers. Smoking weed.
So how about the other day, I was talking to my old section chief from whenever I was in Iraq, and so I was a really good, I was a squared away fucking soldier. I didn't fuck around. I fucked up once, or twice really, actually, when we were at JRTC. I fucked up and left my rifle a couple times, and I got my ass handed to me for that shit. And then downrange, I fucked up and left my ID card at the fucking MWR. They made us put our fucking ID cards down when we needed to go in to use the fucking computers, which was some bullshit. But did it anyway. I fucked up. I owned it. I did what I needed to do to make it better. But whenever I went on my mid-tour leave, I knew that whenever I got picked up from the airport, that who was going to be picking me up was going to have a blunt and passing it to me. And I gave in to peer pressure and I smoked. I chiefed the whole fucking way from Kansas City to Junction or to fucking Ogden, right outside of Manhattan, Kansas. The whole fucking way we had some reefer burning. And once we got there was more reefer. I mean, at this point, I had never seen that much weed. Growing up, I was always a broke motherfucker, and I was nickel and diming.
Bagging. Yep. The struggle.
The struggle's fucking real, man. I won't lie. But I would nickel and dime it. And here I've got somebody with a fucking ounce in front of me, and I'm looking at it like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And we smoked all of it. And that was
Did you get piss tested?
No, see, that was it, man. So whenever I got back, he didn't piss test me. I just knew that I was going to get piss tested. And for 2 days before I was returning back, I was taking some green tea pills, and I was drinking water and green tea. That was it. And whenever I got back, there was no piss test. When we got back from Iraq, he told me, he said, and this was after I made sergeant, he said, you know, Sergeant, I almost gave you a piss test when you got back from Iraq, or when you got back from your mid-tour leave, but I didn't want to fuck you over in case you had smoked. And I looked at him, I said, Sergeant, I appreciate it, because I definitely smoked, and I wouldn't have these stripes right now if you had, so thank you. And he just, I mean, we made a joke about it, but like, if he hadn't gone with his gut, he had listened to. I had a Blue Falcon in my section that was in his ears, and Private Jason's gonna smoke weed on his mid-tour.
You guys use first names?
Shut the fuck up. He said, "You know that Private Jason's gonna be smoking on his mid-tour," and my chief, he kept telling me, he's like, "No, I don't think Jason would do that. That's not something he would do." And the whole time he knew that I smoked too. He just didn't want to fuck me over. And that was, I think, the really big thing of an NCO to do is let his soldier be.
Yeah.
Let me be. He just let me be. And, that was legit. The other day, there was something on one of the pages. I think it was our page, actually, on the main page, where we were talking about the senior NCOs saying that they're going to go into the barracks and barracks checks in the mornings, go back into that. And I think that is a fucking awesome idea. I think it builds unit morale. I think it gets the NCOs more in tune with what their soldiers are going through.
Gets them more involved in their lives.
Exactly. Hands down, proactive. And it's better to be proactive than reactive any fucking time, all right? But there were a lot of people bitching about it, and I made that point. I went on and I made that point in the comment, and my chief came on and he said, exactly, how many times did you see me in your barracks room? And the first thing that I thought was hardly ever, because I was either at your house or out at some girl's house. And they just got us back and talking, and I hadn't talked to him in a long time. It's pretty fucking cool. He's a sergeant first class. He's a sergeant first class now. He ran into my old battle buddy. I said battle buddy because that's what he was. That was the title. But dude that I went through basic training and AIT with, he ran across him the other day, and apparently he's a fucking sergeant first class now too.
Nice.
Hell yeah! So that made me. I was glad to hear that.
Yeah, but I mean, on the flip side of that, a lot of soldiers, a lot of the lower enlisted see the time or see the barracks as like a a bit of a respite, if you will, to the constant, because there are NCOs out there that are just absolute dickheads. Got promoted because of what they know. They're Blue Falcons. They fucking don their promotion pads, almost their whole career. But so I can't see the flip side, because just going on some of the comments that you were talking about, it is the barracks should be that place for the lower enlisted to have that, you know, not an escape, if you will, but just that privacy. I mean, granted, us NCOs are allowed to go, you know, do like barracks inspections, health and welfare, things like that. I just think living with, you know, a soldier, I could see how it could build, you know, unity, but do you have a lot of problems with NCOs getting drunk with enlisted? You know?
But see, is that a problem?
I don't think it's a problem at all, but according to the Army,
robbery.
Yeah, I was in Germany, dude. We did it fucking every weekend. We were up in the day room playing beer pong, fucking, you know, we had an organizational day. Our commander did a keg stand with us, you know. Fucking my one of my soldiers was holding my commander's fucking leg while they were doing a keg stand. So I can see it does build camaraderie, but according to the rest of the Army, that's fraternization.
Yeah, see, knowing that your guys are behind you and knowing that your guys are squared away, that's not fraternization. That's being a fucking squared away NCO and knowing your guys.
But according to the Army, I could see how some fucking high-strung LT will get pissed off and, you know, write up an NCO for drinking with a soldier, unless they made it Army policy. But I don't think they're going to do that to try to help, you know, build unit cohesion.
Right.
All right.
Hey, what do you say we take a break here? A short 5 minutes.
I can dig it.
It's a short 5-minute break. So y'all tune back in, or don't tune out. Just stay here. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Sounds like a plan, man.
All right.
All right, go.
WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, John.
Hey, Ross. Russ, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Hey, when does the SWAT team actually become a terrorist attack team?
Telephone every.
And when they come busting in someone's house at 4 o'clock in the morning with no kind of warning, with machine guns, 45s everywhere.
What'd you have in your house?
4 ounces of weed.
All right, thank you. So what's?
You know, I'm not a criminal, man. I smoke pot's the only thing I do.
I'm sorry, I believe pot's illegal. It makes you a criminal.
And in most countries, I've been into most countries.
I understand that.
I've smoked pot and all over the world.
Well, it's illegal in other countries. It's illegal here.
Right, but I mean, we all know pot's not a problem.
No, I understand that. It's still illegal.
It's true.
Thank you.
Do they have the right to bust down my door, throw a bomb in there, and come in there with machine guns?
Is your door laying down right now?
I put it back up.
Okay, but they actually knocked it down?
They knocked it down.
I'd probably say they can do it then.
But I had to put it back up. And they threw a bomb in my house and it exploded.
What did it do? Was it a gas bomb?
I couldn't tell you if it was a gas bomb.
Did it kill anyone?
No, but it scared my cat so bad.
Of course. That's what those are considered in the industry cat bombs.
of U.S. Army WTF moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
What's up, everybody? We are back. Really short break.
Hey, it is what it is.
It's packable.
That's what she said. I got the tone while I was going, so I feel better. And welcome back to the show. Those you guys just joining us, this is the Green Room. I'm your host, Jason. I've got my buddy here, Charlie, and we've got a couple of friends of ours here. We've got who we're gonna call Baby B. Say hey, Baby B.
What's going on, guys?
That's not what he says. We talked about this. Follow direct.
No.
Hey, baby.
No.
No, I'm kidding. What's going on, buddy?
I don't follow directions.
A whole lot. It's chilling.
Oh yeah, welcome to the show. And also joining us, I don't know, what am I going to call you on the air?
Steve's fine.
All right, we'll call him Steve. You said Steve?
Yeah, Steve's cool.
All right, Steve. All right, we got our buddy Steve here with us tonight. Now, Steve is my old section chief. We were just talking about him going into the break. Steve, man, you fucking saved me. You saved my stripes.
Well, I physically saved you. I shoved you into the sea bunker. I remember that.
Well, it is what it is, man. Yeah, you did do that.
You're not giving him full credit. You're just giving him partial shit for your rank.
Yeah.
Not that you owe him your life.
Yeah, well, that's all right. He that rank was earned because I remember a certain time you having to spend hours and hours waiting around at MWR because I don't know what the reason was. Let me think. You left your ID card multiple times.
Jason left his fucking ID card.
What a shit.
All right, but see, all right, get this though. All right, so I left part of. All right, I told you that I paid my debt for this shit, right? We were just talking about this going into the break. All right, part of me paying my debt for this was I had to sit in full fucking battle rattle and post guard over the fucking ID cards.
That's terrific.
And then half the freaking Georgian army was there. Remember that? Half the Georgian army was at the same place we were at.
I remember that smell.
Yeah.
I remember that fucking smell.
That can't be good.
Oh shit! All right. Well, hey, speaking of the Georgian army, all right. So one night we had the ground attack sirens go off on the fob, and everybody's getting to where they need to fucking be. And see, radar. We're always out away from everybody, and we pull our own security. And we have our crew serve, we have the 203, we've got all this shit. And I was a 203 gunner and the fucking 240 AG, and I'm running out to our fucking site, screaming at the top of my lungs the running password past our, the sentry that we have posted up. And I don't hear him say shit, but he doesn't shoot me, so I'm good. Get to my fighting position, I'm set up.
Probably James.
No, get there. All right, so I get there. We get set up, and now there's some motherfucking headlights coming down, bouncing down the fucking trail, and it's a big fucking truck, and you can hear the people in the back like it's fucking loaded. Oh shit! Like these motherfuckers are coming at us. We're gonna call them. So Steve and our gunner are fucking. They're laid on these bitches. I've got my 203 laid on these bitches, and we're just hollering, "Are we gonna shoot? What do we fucking do?" And then we hear the fucking whistle. We hear the whistle of the fucking deuce and a half. So what was it? We about had a fucking international incident that night.
Yeah, that is true. If I hadn't yelled across there, "Don't shoot," freaking, yeah. You guys are trained on it, like you're supposed to be. But yeah, we almost lit those retarded guys up.
It was good times. Turned out it was the fucking Georgian army Those Georgians that we were just talking about, the smelling motherfucker, we should have smelled them, but they were following one of the fucking tank trails, and the radio was malfunctioning, and they couldn't fucking call it in. So they were just hoping that they weren't going to get shot, and they little did they know.
Less than 11 Bravo on that tower.
We weren't even on a tower. We were on a fucking berm. Our fighting positions were built into a berm. We dug the shit out of the berm, and that's where we were. That's how far out of this fucking. That's how far we had to be. And well, except for it is pretty fun. We had a good time.
We were 2 miles away from the rest of everything on the I guess you call it a FOB. It really wasn't a FOB. It was an Iraqi army base.
Got your little patrol base.
Well, for them it was. For us, there was like what 30 some odd SF, 200 IA, and 400 Georgian Army, and then us 6 radar dudes.
Yeah, like we were the only field artillery in this fucking area. We were the only artillery elements attached to these guys out here, out where we were. They had some fisters attached to them at one of the smaller FOBs where we ended our deployment.
Right.
They had some fisters down there, but where we were, it was just infantry. There was 2 tankers, 2 tank platoons, and the SF and shit.
Gotcha.
But do you remember who the sergeant major of the post was that we moved to? You remember who the sergeant major in charge of that was?
You're calling Sergeant Major Daly.
Yeah, it was. Sure was.
Yeah.
Sergeant Major of the Army?
Yeah, Sergeant Major of the Army Daily.
Yeah, I fucked up.
Huh.
Yeah, all right, so dude's got, all right, so that gray spot in his hair. This is my only like real like good memory of interacting with the man, because I during the day I slept because I work night. My mission, I had a night mission, so fuck it. But when I was in the gym this day, he come in and one of his guys hollered to him, "Hey, Sergeant Major, what the hell happened to your hair there?" Fuck you. And he said that was to. He said every one of those hairs were from.
I'm sorry, I thought the mic muted.
No, it's cool, man. But he said every one of those hairs were from the soldiers. And he said those are y'all's hairs. The rest of them belong to my wife and children. Those are y'all's. So that's
pretty cool. I had an ag teacher, an FFA. He had a white spot, and he said something similar. Those from all of his students.
Yeah, but the interactions I had with him, I mean, real stand-up man. I remember, actually, Steve, if you remember the day we got blown up, we actually started talking. I remember our conversation. We were talking about, we said that he was going to be the next Sergeant Major of the Army. We were off by 1 cycle.
Yeah. Well, he was already slated to be Sergeant Major of the Army whenever he took over, because he was the youngest battalion command Sergeant Major at the time.
Yeah, and then he became the youngest brigade.
Yep.
Sergeant Major.
Because
he skipped a division, didn't he? He skipped the division.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good dude.
But the rest
squared away.
But the rest of our conversation, we talked about how complacent the guys that we were attached to, because it was the tail end of the deployment. They were going through the RIP TOA, and they were on the TOA end of it, and they started getting a little complacent. And then we had the guys that we were fighting were testing the incoming command, and we were having a lot of.
First, man, remember?
Yeah.
101st was coming in, and so I actually hate 101st.
I don't doubt it.
You can thank the Blackhearts for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hell, so Baby B just got back, man. So welcome back, welcome home, brother.
Yeah, he was in Africa. He was a Kenyan. Or no, where were you?
Fuck that place.
Where were you, Kenyan?
Yeah.
Obama was born, right?
Yeah, pretty much. They fucking hate his guts over there. It's awesome.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. So Baby B, he came by yesterday. He and I are friends on Facebook. We've been friends for a few years, met in some of the veteran pages. But this is the first time we actually met. He brought his wife, because they were passing through. He brought his wife down here to my house in Narnia. I'm not going to give you my actual location. But
beautiful.
We had a couple cups of coffee and talked for a little while. But yeah, you were telling me about how, what's that word that they call him? Over there? They call Obama?
They call Obama the Mzungu. All right, so there's a word that is similar to America's N-word that they use over there to describe someone that doesn't belong there. So it's Mzungu, means a wanderer, and they call Obama that word just because, like, I mean, sure, he was born there, but he doesn't belong there. Like when he came to visit, they were like, yeah, fuck that guy. I hate people to go say hi.
That's funny as shit. This is the time where we usually use that stinger, the views, right? Costs?
Yep.
I played the disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
Okay, gotcha. There you go. We're covered then.
We're covered.
Yeah. But no,
guys, just try to make sure you're listening to us in a well-ventilated area. We don't want you guys getting into contact.
Yeah, tell us how fun was it? Because you sent some pretty cool pictures. You got to see a lot of wildlife.
Yeah, that's pretty legit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He would send videos. It was perhaps like 10 feet behind him over his shoulder.
No. That wasn't Kenya. We didn't see any giraffes in Kenya, unfortunately.
We're done talking about Kenya. We're talking about.
Okay, fine, man, fine. Yeah, so I saw that giraffe. Okay, I saw like 3 of them.
This is badass, dude.
Yeah, I saw some giraffes. Saw a couple of rhinos, a few hippos. Saw like an island. They had like a fucking island with a shit ton of apes on them. And we'd like throw them fruits and vegetables and shit, and they would fight over them. That was hilarious.
But the most impressive animal you saw over there was the dik-dik, right?
Yep, the dik-dik. Those little fuckers were everywhere, and they were cute as fuck, man.
Little deer, right?
Little tiny. Right, the dik-dik.
It's a new army.
That's all I can say. It's a new army. That's the actual name of the animal. It's called a dik-dik.
Hey, if you're gonna call something new, call it a New Africa, man. They came up with that bullshit. It wasn't me. But a dik-dik, not to be mistaken for a dick. I mean, they have very, very awesome differences. But a dik-dik is a tiny, tiny, tiny deer. Like when you look at a dik-dik, just imagine yourself looking at a baby goat and being like, "Oh my god, that thing is so fucking cute! I want to squeeze it and kiss it and." Oh, those are the emotions you have when you look at a dik-dik. Same exact.
Right. Everyone in the audience, Google dik-dik. It's D-I-K-D-I-K. I made the mistake of assuming it was spelled the other way and directed to someplace that only caps
That's how you come across gay porn.
Yeah. But no, a dik-dik. D-I-K-D-I-K. Yeah, they're fucking adorable.
Those things.
Oh, dude, look at their eyelashes.
Yeah, and our audience let out a collective.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, I can hear the mental awes just happening right now.
Shit. You can get them as a pet.
You don't look at kittens the way you look at dik-diks. I mean, fuck kittens. Dik-diks are amazing.
I hate cats.
I hate cats too. I got 2 of them. I want to kill one of them. One's okay. It has a use.
No. But yeah, Kaz, you nailed it. These fucking eyelashes, dude.
Yeah.
It's cute.
I mean.
Yeah, I'm about to put up an image of a dik-dik on our page right now. That's about to go up so you guys can see that.
Just a random picture of a dik-dik. No.
Yeah, hey, the third time I ever saw a dik-dik, we were doing a little patrol around an airfield in Kenya, and there was like just all kinds of wildlife around that airfield around dusk.
Yeah.
And me and my little buddy Stuart Wallace, or just use the name. Well, he's a short, skinny. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. He's a skinny little fuck.
I don't think he's
awesome fella. I doubt it. But little skinny fuck, real backwoods, black guy. Just love him to death.
Gotcha.
But he was up in the gunner's hatch, and I was driving the Humvee, and we were doing a patrol around the airfield.
Mm-hmm.
And like these little dicks were everywhere, like antelope, buffalo, wild water buffalo, some other little wildlife.
Yeah.
But we were passing by these little dicks on the side of the road, and they know to stay off the road. They're pretty smart. They've been around for a while.
They know not to be a dick.
No, I wasn't gonna be a dick and run over the dick. That's too many times. That's too many dicks in one sentence, buddy.
Cause you slay me. Cause you slay me. He just sent the picture in our chat, and it's just a dick pic.
Dick pic.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That's fucking hilarious. But
yeah, I just posted it up on the Green
Room
page as dick pic.
Dude, pic.
It's too late, and I did it before Cos was done. It was already up.
Damn it! If only we could edit these things.
If only.
We passed by this by these 2 or 3 little dicks, and I see what looks like a snake in the middle of the road, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm about to run over a snake. I'm not running off the road for a fucking snake. And then the snake did this little swooshy motion, and I looked what that snake was connected to. It was a fucking lion. I was like, fuck this. I hit the accelerator as hard as I could. Got to the end of the airstrip. Looked up at my buddy in the turret. I was like, hey, bro, did you see that? He's like, what? See what, Tom? I was like, did you see that lion we just passed by all those dicks? He's like, oh, my God, there was a fucking lion over there? Yes. Well, why the fuck did we stop here? Hit that accelerator right now. We got to get to the tower where the guns are. I only got this 240 and I'm up here with my head showing. Get me the fuck out of here. It was hilarious.
That's pretty great.
I
felt like I was there
later on that day.
What the fuck? Was he a slave from the 1800s?
No, man, no. That's just how he talked, man. I told you he was backwoods.
He's like from Mississippi.
Oh shit! That's so.
Like in the sticks, Arkansas, like from nowhere, and he just ended up in my unit as an attachment. I fell in love with the guy. He was just amazing. Loved
him.
Yeah.
Don't cab it up, okay? Don't cab it up.
No, I wasn't. I did, and you didn't believe me, so I cabbed it up some more. If you just believed me the first time, we wouldn't be having this issue. But whatever. It's
I can't get over that, cause dick pic. Stop there. You've broken me. That's pretty great.
Well, I guess I'm sorry.
You're welcome for my
bring up the dick.
It's cool, man. Oh yeah. So, man. So, all right. So, how long have you been back in stateside?
About a month. It's been a little less than a month.
Took a road trip. Came and saw me. I'm touched.
Yeah. Went up to Ohio for Thanksgiving. Saw my brother and the rest of the family. Came back for a week, and then one of my buddies I deployed with, his brother lives up there near Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go visit him. Me and the wife went and just kind of explored Colorado for a little bit. Ended up passing by old Charlie's place in Narnia, and just showed up at the house this morning. I was tired as fuck.
Yeah. I'm glad you made it back safe, bro. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Yeah, fuck that trip. I don't like road trips much anymore. I mean, I used to love them, but not so much now. Say hi, whoever that was. Sound like a parrot saying hello.
I'm outside having a cigarette and more than maybe said hi.
Gotcha. Tell her say hi.
What? Jason and Charlie say hello.
Tell her she was on the radio. We have to get her authorization to put it in a podcast.
Nah,
I'm kidding.
No worries, man.
But no, I mean,
or something.
I'm glad you made it back safe from both, Africa. What else did you do? It wasn't always animals over there. You got your
no.
You had some fun.
Yeah, we had some fun. It was. It wasn't. Look, your infantry. You expect something, you don't get it. It's a letdown. Big deal. You kind of expect that if you've been in as long as I have. Which almost 10 years. Not as long as a lot of people out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't exactly meet up to my expectations. But at the same time, I was in fucking Africa. It was
right.
That's on the other side of the globe, like right on the fucking equator most of the time. I got a video. We were way out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, like within a mile of the center of the continent.
Right.
I got a video. I showed you, Charlie.
Yep.
Kind of like a little reveal video. I'm walking down the airstrip, and it's kind of like looking at my shoes, walking down the fucking airstrip, and then it like pans up, and we're on top of a hill, and for miles and miles,
just dense jungle.
Once it finally, man, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, and I got to see that shit every day.
That's crazy, man.
But that place, and I ain't gonna mention exactly where it is, but that place, like, holy shit. Like, where we were, I don't know.
Okay, you're good, sorry.
Yeah, we're better now.
I was thinking out loud.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway.
Baby B also loves doing karaoke. That's part of the guest profile that we're going to post to the page. His likes. Karaoke.
Yeah, I love karaoke. Did a few contests, won a few, lost a bunch more. Yeah,
long walks on the beach.
I've done one karaoke contest. Got embarrassed enough to never do it again. So I figure the audience deserves that much from me, just to never perform again.
I don't give a fuck. I sing.
Should have done a radio DJ contest. You got that sexy ass radio voice. I was telling my wife the other day, you got the sexiest radio voice I've ever heard.
Thanks, buddy. No homo.
Hey, you're welcome.
It's okay if you are in today's army.
I call it bromo.
Bromo.
I call it no homo. Yeah, it's just bromo. It's not no homo. It's just
just straight up bromo. It's just straight up bromo.
Yeah, but without drinking, my desire to do karaoke is not really what it was.
Dude, I don't even care. I get up there and I sing. I don't care.
I don't drink. I can't drink.
I don't even drink whenever I sing. I can't drink. As soon as I start drinking, I start not being able to keep up with the words on the screen.
Yeah.
Well, practice makes perfect, man. You got to know them words before they come up on the screen.
Yeah, but if I'm drinking, it's just bad news bears.
Got stage rehearsals and shit for karaoke contests now. that's gonna be on Fox summer 2018. Just fucking carry. So I'm calling it now. Screenshot it. Whatever the equivalent to radio shot is. Just bookmark it, I guess.
Record it.
Summer 2018. There's
going to be the video, ladies and gentlemen.
Karaoke competition that's nationwide. That more people will vote in than the national election coming up in 2020.
They've got that. It's already out there. There's already a karaoke show. There's been a karaoke show forever.
I know that the Asians have a pretty fucking awesome one that was on Spike TV where they hook up like electrodes to them and shock the fuck out of them during the song. And it was in front of a live studio audience. They do different things. What the fuck name? Steve-O was the host of it once. But all the users. Steve-O from Jackass.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The singing bee.
Was that it? Was that what it's called?
On NBC.
Oh no!
And then it was aired. It's the Singing Bee. The Singing Bee is a karaoke show that originally aired on NBC and then on CMT.
Okay, but no, this one like they have women, the contestants sitting on swings and they lower them into pools while they put like snakes and alligators with their fucking mouths taped shut. Obviously,
it's
just freaking. Karaoke, that's what it is.
Oh, that shit. I know what you're talking about now.
Dude. Watched that shit Iraq so many times on loop that they had fucking Hodge DVDs of it. It's hilarious.
There's also
they send these people into like little cactus rooms with balloons and shit, and they got these weird like beer goggles on, and they're trying to sing and walk through this bullshit at the same time. That's literally my favorite one.
Like $250 and an Applebee's.
I think my favorite one would have to be the one where the guy got a hand job. Japanese karaoke hand job super game show sensation.
Oh shit! I have seen that. That was fucking ridiculous. I cringed, but I couldn't look away. Sometimes you can't look away.
Let's steer this out of the cab direction. Let's get us back on.
My bad.
The one that could not stop laughing about. You got to watch it high. You got to. There's a guy. He's walking around, and they perform different acts during the song, and he's got the electrodes hooked, a couple to his quads, a couple to his calves, a couple to his biceps, a couple to his neck, and he has to like serve. He acts like a waiter in a song, and he's essentially acting out the song. He's trying to put food on the plate, trying to make a fucking omelet while he's getting shocked while singing a song. I mean, that's how far some of this shit goes. It's just the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen on television. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's up there with someone racking their nuts while trying to fucking grind down a handrail.
There's nothing funnier than watching someone do something that they like and getting hurt for it. There's nothing funnier than that bullshit. Yep. I love it.
All right, well, so while we've got you on the air, man, we've got a couple of these cannabis news articles that we wanted to go over tonight. How you feel about weighing in on them?
Man, it's free fucking country, man. I got it. No worries.
Hell yeah, man. All right. So there's this one here. U.S. states tried decriminalizing pot before. This was published originally in Time magazine. It says in the past 5 years, 8 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized recreational marijuana for adults. And it goes on talking about the statistics of Americans approving of it, 68%, and the potential of $50 billion in revenue coming from here. They say, how did this happen? How did the marijuana industry transform into a primary target for Just Say No, from Just Say No into something that, according to a recent Gallup poll, 60% of Americans want legalized. They say that it lies in 5 decades worth of activism and legions of drug supporters pushing to move marijuana from decriminalization to criminalization straight over to legalization. But while legalization proponents may declare victory in the war over marijuana today, history shows that the debate is far from settled. In fact, we've been here before. They say the 5 years between 73 and 78, a dozen states decriminalized the possession of up to an ounce of marijuana. Pro-pot activists, many of them young veterans of the anti-war and civil rights movements, argued that marijuana wasn't as harmful as the government said it was. And a lot of the laws adjusted accordingly. And then what we ended up seeing was a multi-million-dollar paraphernalia industry following in the decriminalization's wake. By 1977, they're saying that the sales of pipes, bongs, rolling papers, and drug-oriented magazines and toys even were generated.
That is insane.
Right?
I'm following along. That's insane.
In 1977, it generated $250 million a year, equivalent of $1 billion today. There was little to no regulation or oversight on this booming new industry. However, the products that seemed directly targeted to kids, including Frisbee with pipes on them and bongs shaped like spaceships, were sold openly, often in corner shops and music stores. So what that led to was, because of decriminalization, the they started paying more attention to the adolescents. They saw adolescent use of marijuana was increased. It was on the rise. They're saying that 9% of high school seniors reported smoking weed every day, and children as young as 13 reported that the drug was easy to get. That started a, quote, parent movement, which sought to close the head shops and rescind the decriminalization laws and try to turn it back over into to get the drugs out of the communities. By 81, Nancy Reagan had come into office as First Lady with her husband, Ronald Reagan, and they started the parent movement got her attention. They said that, you know, you should really expect a change in this, and they got even a bigger boost 5 years later with the crack cocaine epidemic, and it, you know, started with the just say no, dare, etc. And then, you know, with the White House behind them, it took less than a decade for parent activists to demonize marijuana nationwide. They took it from the decriminalization in the 70s to all-out criminalization in the 80s. They had, once the rates of adolescents use started to rise, when paraphernalia manufacturers sold items to kids and the country's attitudes toward marijuana experienced a swift reversal. So, you know, something like that could happen today. Marijuana has experienced a renaissance since the 90s. First medical marijuanas, when the first medical marijuana laws were passed, 60% of Americans support the legalization. But despite all of this, despite the ACLU helping, and looking at it from the legal aspect of the disproportionate blacks and minorities that have been affected by marijuana laws, even though, white people, black people, minority, majority, yellow, purple, green, people smoke reefer, right? It is proof that there's no greater number of any race. It's proportionate.
There's admitted on the oath testimony from one of Reagan's advisors saying that they knew that the stuff that they were saying about marijuana, the propaganda they were putting out against marijuana was bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was an easy way to control, you know, communities, is to compare that with other drugs and, you know, target the anti-war effort was a huge thing during this time.
And so we ought to take this as a warning, though.
Well, I mean,
since we've
go ahead.
We've been here before, so I mean, not to the extent that we are now, obviously, but you know, look at the likes of Justice Sessions, and we look at the people that are making the policies.
Right. I really don't think it's
there.
Yeah, the potential's there, but I really don't think with the computer industry, the information age, the information's out there and it's not going away. So the people are not going to believe the lies that they were believing whenever, you know, marijuana had been criminalized in the past, because people got their information from the news outlets, you know, from their elected representatives. So, I mean, this news is out there. I don't think that this could happen. I mean, it's possible that it could happen with Sessions, and he can try to do something like that, but I don't think people will ignore it.
Well, let's visit that article that we talked about 2 weeks ago, where the quote first reported death attributed to cannabis. It's going to be articles like that get the attention that change the tide. If we start seeing more articles like that, we start seeing more quote unbiased research that's coming out saying that cannabis is dangerous, even though, you know, we've got 20 articles of vetted scholarly research
published
for every
peer review
one. Exactly. You can't say that cannabis is without its drawbacks, all right? Whenever you smoke, anytime you smoke anything, you are ingesting something carcinogenic. But let me take it back. We digress for a second. Baby B, man. So what do you think? So we've got somebody like you, active duty military, weighing in on this. So what do you think about cannabis and where we are with it?
Well, all right. First off, bro, I mean, it's going to be really hard to compete with Nancy Reagan, man. I mean, that woman was an amazing person. And she did a lot of really good things for the children of America. But I mean, here's my take on it. I mean, what is weed exactly? It grows out of the ground naturally. I mean, we didn't make it. It's nothing that was fabricated.
Nothing
sure,
synthesized.
Strains of it. Yeah, I mean, you can synthesize it, but it's not the same shit. The synthesized shit's bullshit. But I mean, King James back in the 1600s called tobacco sotweed. Yeah, he tried to get an entire nation against tobacco, and our whole fucking nation is smoking. I mean, you see smokers everywhere.
Yep.
It's legal now. In the 1700s, it was extremely illegal to be like our type of American. But I mean, how many times did we fight for our independence? We fought fucking twice. We finally staved them off. We got them away. We got our country. It's ours now.
Yeah,
and that's stuff that you fight for. And we have all these people today that are fighting for this, and they have every right to fight for it. I mean, there's absolutely no reason. I mean, sure, there's these little here and there reasons that people are like, yeah, weed's bad. It does this. You know, it makes people act stupid. Well, people shouldn't be acting stupid. That's a personal choice.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of stupid people who have never even smelled marijuana before.
Yeah, I promise
people
you.
drive cars every day.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, if I'm being
People drive
stupid,
cars.
if I'm acting stupid, it's not because of the reefer. I promise you that.
Yeah. Oh,
But I mean, I think I firmly believe like that with the information. Just going back to what you were saying, Jason, about the article where that infant was, killed, or that they tried to blame that infant's death on ingestion of gummies and not like a heart, condition. Going back to that, I still think that there's ways to get the truth out there. And until our government can control the internet, I just don't think that the mindset is ever going to change based on some, one or two articles. I mean, people are impressionable. People are impressionable, but I think that the information age, our understanding of the benefits of this plant have grown, I think, to the pharmaceutical industry that they consider irreparable. It's something that there's no going back from. So
I'd like to believe you. I'd like to believe that's true. I'd like to here you are, you're being optimistic and I'm being the pessimist.
Well, I switched strains, dude. This is that grape god.
See, I'd like to believe that the truth.
Yeah.
But we had a bunch of people voting for Trump only because they thought that a vote for somebody else was a vote for somebody completely else than they voted for.
I mean, Hillary did the same.
I was just saying.
The campaign tried to put out the same. If you vote Johnson, it's a vote for Trump. And I can see what you're saying there. I mean, I was just leading into that about how impressionable a lot of Americans are. But I do think
with the right campaign.
Right. But I don't think it would. Sorry, I still don't think it would, man. I mean, you can be the pessimist. I can't see anything below half a glass right now. So you can be that pessimist. I still think that as long as the information's out there, every day this movement gains more traction. Every fucking day. And we've got guys that have come on the show that are right there on the front line. Michael Whiter. This dude is doing stand-up shit for veterans, Pennsylvania Veterans for Pot. I mean,
Boone Cutler.
With Boone Cutler on, who has his own freaking CBD oil business.
Dude, and he's been spending a bunch of time up on Capitol Hill too. I don't know if you've noticed that, but he's been spending a bunch of time on Capitol Hill.
I mean,
doing up the damn thing.
I do think that for a while there, a lot of veterans felt, hey, I just don't want to speak up because they were so freaking drugged down by medicines. A medicated population is an easy population to control. But with like he said, he was drooling on himself for 5 years. Michael Whiter, he was drooling on himself for 5 years. He heard about marijuana helping, with a lot of the ailments that he had after serving in the Marine Corps. And then he got a friend to buy some weed, to get some weed for him. They sat down and smoked, and he threw the pills away. I mean, we've got these guys, and they've got a huge fucking following too. So I think that so long as the information's out there, so long as the campaign keeps fucking growing, it's going to take a lot of brilliant marketing or campaigning to thwart any kind of momentum the marijuana industry has. They can try with these little articles every now and then about a toddler overdosing on an edible. I don't believe it. A lot of Americans don't believe it because the actual peer-reviewed shit states otherwise, and that is that there has not been a record death to marijuana. That can be linked directly to marijuana.
That's true, man.
So I think that they can try, but it's shooting a 22 at a freight train,
Yeah.
That's how optimistic I am about our movement.
This is just a little sidebar. Like you mentioned, Michael or Charlie. A medicated population is a very easily controlled population. I can totally attest to that. Where we were mainly stationed at in Africa.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday too when you came over.
Yeah. They've got a drug up there. They call it COT. It's an enhancer. I don't know everything about this thing, but it just makes you very manageable. It just enhances how you feel, and that's what they like out there. They enjoy how they feel, and that's all that they want. They just want to feel good, and this drug allows them to feel that feeling exponentially. And the government sponsors that shit.
Yeah, that's what fucking surprised me.
They give them what they want. Now that they give them what they want, even though what they want is not what they need. It's that shit. But I would
keep them happy, keep them drugged.
Keep them happy. Yeah, it's a fucked up drug.
Yeah.
It's.
I completely forgot we had that conversation about this when you came over yesterday. I was pretty high. I was pretty high when you guys visited, but my I'm pretty high.
Honestly, I couldn't tell, but honestly, I don't have something to go off of to base you as a sober person. I don't know how you are sober, so I couldn't tell if you were high or not. To be honest.
Yeah, sober. I don't know. I haven't been sober in a while.
You seem like a person that could be really boring sober, but I think.
Well, yeah, I'm a big comic book guy, so I think weed makes that buffer a little easier. They are. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you. But no, hey, Kaz, what are you thinking about this article?
I don't know that I have an opinion. I mean, I don't smoke marijuana. I don't eat the edibles. Just because I don't like it. I tried it. I don't like it. But I mean, you guys are included in this. I mean, it's helping you, and it's making a difference in your life in a positive way. You're off the Skittles from the VA. So anything that gets anybody away from opioids, I fully support.
Yeah. Well, I mean, heroin gets people away from opioids. Or no, heroin is an opioid.
Heroin.
Yeah. My bad.
It's not even an opioid.
No, that has been like our mission statement at the Green Room since we've started. Is we don't want to force marijuana on people. We just want people to be able to choose, you know, to have the choice. If the pills work for you, great, that's fantastic. Even though, you know, some of your organs are probably failing, and it says so right there in the instructions that your organs are going to fail. Even that's your prerogative. You don't have to like medical marijuana. We just want the choice to be able to make that choice, you know.
And it's not like everybody. It's not like all Americans are going to walk around being stoned all the time.
Exactly.
Look at Colorado, and you know those dispensaries aren't on every street corner. You've actually got to, you got to pull up an app and you got to find it. I mean, they're not everywhere.
10 miles to my dispensary.
Yeah.
Well, even on top of that, like, if you don't know, like, just meeting me, if you don't know that I'm stoned, you're not going to know. I mean, if I don't tell you, hey, I just smoked, you're not going to know that I'm stoned because I know how to handle myself. You can compensate for your eyes drooping. Your eyes don't droop because you can't hold them open. They droop because you don't fucking care about holding them open. So you just let them fucking droop. But if you care about holding your eyes open,
walking around all the time, fucking eyes like bulging out of his head, just trying his hardest to keep his eyes open.
Well, no, I mean it's not that bad. But I mean, if I want to just, I mean, you can just open your eyes. You don't have to just walk around.
They're not open. I'm looking at you right now.
No, that was the way the camera was.
Okay. but no, yeah, I mean, I think a big issue.
I just Georgia Pride right now.
Yeah. Well, I think like the big issue in states where it's not legal is that paranoia. But I mean, here in Colorado, you know, cops see fucking high people all the time walking to fucking convenience stores. I mean, granted, I do not drive when I'm high. I don't want to risk it. You know, I'm a father of 3 kids. I don't even want to be put in that position. But, you know, if I pull into a fucking convenience store, I'm not all paranoid. If my wife is driving me to the convenience store, I'm not all fucking paranoid going in, you know, with cops around. Everywhere else you're going, where it's illegal, I mean, I think there are other, you know, indicators, not just your eyes being open, but, you know, body motion.
Yeah, but I mean, but I'm just saying, like, these are things that you can, I mean, as a smoker,
you're trained to be, yeah.
And you can compensate. Mm-hmm. But anyway, man, all right, so guys, make sure we're getting into the final 2 minutes of the show. So we got a little bit of housekeeping.
That's all I need, 2 minutes.
That's what she said.
That bitch talks too much.
Yeah. All right. So we've got now today, Sunday, tomorrow. Tune in. We got the Monday edition from 8 to 11 with Ice and Cuffs. Excuse me, Ice and Minks. The hell is talking about Cuffs? We got Tied Up Tuesday. We got with Minks and Jay Reddy. Gray Cloud is not quite back yet, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that we've still got Jay Reddy on there. But then we've got Wednesday. We've got the Wednesday show is...
Wednesday's a Donza day, man. It's our day off.
That's right. Then we're back on Thursday with Starters Time. We've got the WTF Moment NCO Corps. They come in and they discuss everything from the Army community.
Tomorrow we got, I think it's Officer Cole is coming. He's a police officer from the Fort Worth Police Department. What he does is he goes to hospitals and visits kids all dressed up like their favorite superhero.
Oh, that's badass, dude. That's pretty fucking awesome. Cool. Oh, yeah.
That is fucking awesome. And we've got Friday night with Meeks and Mud Pup, Friday Night Freedom. We've got our Saturday night Savagery, and then meet us back again on Sunday with Jason and Charlie in the green room.
And Cos.
And Cos.
As of late.
As of late, yeah.
Special guest Cos.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to like put that like as for the next advertising. We'll have to give a flash about that. Or someone from the social media team just saying, you know, the green room with Jason and Charlie guest starring Cos. Chari. I'm Chari.
Not only are your eyes slanted, you are talking
in circles. Yeah. This is great God, man. This is great God. But I'm glad I'm an optimist now.
Hell yeah. Welcome back to the land of optimism. Guys,
I appreciate
tuning in. Everybody over the airwaves, guys, we hope that you did end up getting a nice contact from us. And we, as always, love having you guys tune in and just listen to us shoot the shit and come out here and just share with you what's on our mind.
Yeah, thanks for all the phone calls too.
Yeah, for real. It was a busy night tonight.
Hell yeah.
We had Chief Steve on. We got Baby B.
Yeah.
We had our two colleagues, Doc, and who's the other guy didn't announce himself.
He didn't announce himself. He was from New York.
Yeah, in Syracuse. Fucking rude ass.
He was definitely.
I'm an asshole, so fuck New York. I'm kidding. Rude ass, couldn't even introduce yourself.
But I just coming out here. I mean, Charlie and I got started with this. It's been a little over a year, and coming up now towards the end of the holiday season and getting close to New Year's, guys, we could get out here and we just go on here just to talk about what's on our minds. And for those 2 hours that you're joining us, you're right there with us, and that's on your mind too. And we enjoy hearing you guys call in and talk to us about what's going on in your lives and how you are reacting to the materials that we're going over. It's really humbling to know that we've got the audience that's actually paying attention and gives a fuck to hear what we have to say. So going into my whole theme of spreading joy, Merry Christmas to you guys, every one of you, and thank you for listening to us and tuning in.
Yeah, and if you guys miss a show, you can always go to WTFNationRadio.com and you can download the podcast. I'm going to try to get this podcast up tonight, if I know that the latest tomorrow, but I'll probably get it done tonight.
Yeah, we know you will, Cos. You're the greatest, bro. So
yeah, we had a meeting today. Just before we head out, we had a meeting today, and this is just how awesome Cos is. I was talking to the boss man, asking him how I can get things set up for me to be able to put our podcast up, and Cos was like, "Dude, I've already done it."
Yep. I was there. I heard him. And speaking of that meeting, you guys are welcome because of me. The J Reddy's 12 Days of Christmas is going back on the air. So you're welcome. I voiced my disappointment in not being able to hear it. So they're going to be putting it back on. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I've got it. I should have played it during the break.
That's okay.
All right, guys.
Next time, guys.
Okay, guys, it's a wrap, and we'll see you next week. All of our shows start at 2000 hours Eastern. So, and we have a lunchtime show on Tuesdays and Thursdays with KJ. It's called
Taco Truck.
Taco Truck.
That's great.
So, yeah. All right, man. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Did you make a wish? Yeah. What did you wish for? I wished for a big movie.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.